America's Heartland is made possible by Farm Credit, financing agriculture and rural America since 1916. Farm Credit is cooperatively owned by America's farmers and ranchers. Learn more at farmcredit.com. The United Soybean Board, whose Common Ground program creates conversations to help consumers get the facts about farming and food. There's more at findourcommonground.com. The American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture, dedicated to building greater awareness and understanding of agriculture through education and engagement. More information at agfoundation.org. The Fund for Agriculture Education, a fund created by KBIE to support America's Heartland programming. Contributors include the following.
I'm Sarah Gardner. Bees are crucial in helping farmers grow dozens of different products, but their native populations are mysteriously declining. We'll take you to California, where farmers, scientific experts, and beekeepers are launching a major new program to help bring bees back.
I'm Jason Schultz. Come with me to New England, where the history of many farms stretches back hundreds of years. I'll introduce you to a farm family that's seen some great times and struggled through some tough times, all with the goal of keeping their farm alive.
Hi, I'm Kristen Samos. We're taking you to school in Big Sky Country, and this lesson is all about good horsemanship for the animal and the rider. Saddle up for a one-of-a-kind ranching adventure in Montana.
I'm Rob Stewart. We've got a unique ranching story for you this time. It's not about cattle. We're taking you to Arkansas to a ranch that is bustling with buffalo. That's all coming up next, right here on America's Heartland.
You can see it in the eyes of every woman and man in America's heartland, living close to the land. There's a love for the country